Thanks for attending my session at the Business Bootcamp in Karratha. Now, this quick video is just to summarize what I covered in that very fast-tracked sort of 10 to 15 minute session I presented. And if you weren't in the session, this is to help you, just to share what you missed, essentially. So LinkedIn is a fabulous tool to help you grow your visibility, establish your authority, and earn influence with your ideal clients or network. It's the largest of the professional social media platforms with 630 million members around the world, over 10 million in Australia, and 2 new members growing every second. The largest demographic are millennials, which is an audience I love to work with. So I do a lot of work with students in universities. Of the members, 44% are using it monthly, and of those, 40% are using it daily. And engagement is growing 60% year on year. So it's certainly a platform to invest some time in, and I'm going to unpack why. It's not only a platform for people, it's a search engine for content, for companies, for jobs, as well as people. And it's no longer an online resume as it used to be thought of. There's so much more. It's a brilliant networking tool. Like I said, it's a publishing tool. So if we think about how you can use LinkedIn, and if we step back to what you want to achieve. So if you think about who is your ideal client, and if you're in the job market, what's the ideal job look like? What problem are you solving for them? And if you think of the ideal client, well, who actually knows them? Because like I said, LinkedIn is a professional network, and sometimes you want to connect to people who know the people that you want to know. Because LinkedIn has 3 degrees deep of connections that you've got access to. And that's the sort of stuff I unpack in my workshops. And if you attended the workshop in the afternoon of the following day, you would have got a bit more intelligence around this. And if not, request a workshop, because I'm happy to come back up to Karratha. So if you think about how you might be using LinkedIn, and this applies to any social media, this model is from my book, Get Good or Get Off, a guide to getting it right on social media, which is also an online program now, which I'm just about to launch, which is really exciting. But with social media or LinkedIn, and you'll think about where you are right now, you might not be using it at all. You might be using it as a business tool. So with that, maybe you look at using it to find people, to find interesting information, as a research tool. And you've got a profile, and so you can actually be found. But you might not be using it to its full extent. You might be building a presence. So this is where your profile, you've taken some time to optimize it. You've got an up-to-date profile photo. You've got a headline that says what you actually do beyond the title you've got. You've got the experience section filled out, and you're using it to find people, and you're building that network of connections. Up from that, you're ready to build a profile for yourself. So this is where you want to be that industry expert, that go-to person in your field. But you need to be connecting to people at this stage. So you're going to be looking for people and connecting to them. And your profile is really up to date. You're producing content that's of value, that's adding to your expertise. Above that, it's attracting opportunities or finding opportunities. And these could be opportunities to meet the right people, to find strategic partners, to have opportunities to speak at a conference, to travel different places. And to get to that point, you need to start engaging with your network, because they need to understand where you fit into their world. And finally, at the very top, the thing that we're all in business for is leads and conversions. To convert people into leads, you need to build a footprint, and you need to have all these things in place. Now, the biggest mistake people make with LinkedIn particularly is they jump from the bottom to the top. And these are the people that they've got a very basic profile, they connect to you, and the first thing they do is hit you up with a sales message. That's not how to use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a relationship building tool, and sales and leads come from good relationship building. So that's really important to know. But one of the reasons you might want to use LinkedIn is it's not about whether you're using LinkedIn, whether you love it, whether you don't like it or not. And it's not even about your clients, whether they're using LinkedIn. They are using Google, and LinkedIn is indexed by Google. It's one of the top sites, in fact. So if you Google your name, if you Google your business, or you Google what you actually do, you've got the opportunity to be found very easily in Google for free. So the more you use your profile, the more you optimize it, the more you engage, it's going to get you higher ranked within LinkedIn. But LinkedIn itself is already ranked really well. And what you want to do is take up the entire first page of Google. So for instance, if you search for my name, everything there is me. It's number one is always my LinkedIn profile. or my website, but the two are interchangeable. We've got Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and interviews. So use the platforms to build that visibility so that people will click on you. And you might use your profile as a landing page or a traffic source to get people to go to your website, because there are certain places you want to optimize. So it's not about you using LinkedIn or your clients. It's about them using Google as a vehicle or using LinkedIn as a vehicle to get your clients from Google to your website, because you want to click on one of them. Now, the era of social business, we no longer can just sell to people directly. I mean, we never have been able to do that, but there's so much to social media, and I just want to get that across. So you could be using a social media the first sort of way to use, particularly LinkedIn, is to react to things. If you haven't quite found your voice yet, you don't know what to do, you're a bit confused and overwhelmed, reacting is the first step, and that's reacting. Liking is a reaction. You've also got other reactions now, such as celebrate, insightful, curious, different reactions you can have to content. And that's a nice way to get going. You can respond to things. So this is where you're being a bit more strategic about it. In public, you can comment on posts. And then in private, you can message people. But it's responding to things, so you're putting yourself forward, finding your voice. You can accept connections, so people will start connecting to you. And then you need to work out your process. How are you going to connect to them? Who are you going to connect to? And what are you going to do next? And then, of course, in that pyramid model, getting up to building a profile for yourself, you're going to have to start sharing some content. So finding your voice. Now, content can be one of the biggest overwhelms for social media, knowing what to say, how to say it, what kind of medium. Are you going to use video, images, text, how to write it, how to use hashtags, all those things. And that's why I do this, because I love content and I love the ideas of how I can find content for you. And in the Get Good or Get Off program, we've got a whole module on content, which is part of this program we're just about to launch. So it's pretty exciting. LinkedIn's a great tool for research. So finding people, companies, content, jobs as well, of course. So if you're looking for things to share with your network, to share on your other social media platforms, or just to find that intelligence, fantastic tool for that. And of course, you want to be connecting to the right people. So you want to be using what's called Boolean search to source out the people in the right jobs, in the right industries, in your target market, and having a process to connect and engage with them. Now, one of the things people do is they hit the connect button and that's all they do. So I teach people through my connection workshops how to actually search and then how to actually do the connection process and maintain that relationship, because it's a relationship building tool. You don't want to just connect and collect them. And then finally, we want to be converting them into clients if they're the right people, or converting them into a job, converting them into a partnership. But that comes from conversation. You need to be constantly conversing with people in order to build relationships. So if you're not doing that now and you're expecting, and maybe you're thinking LinkedIn doesn't work for me, I haven't got any leads, I haven't done any jobs, it might be because you're not doing all these things. Now, this might sound like a lot of work, but it doesn't have to be if you do it strategically. It's about being really conscious of what you're doing and why, having a time to do it, and then moving on so you don't get caught up in the vortex of social media. It's certainly not Facebook, so it's not going to take up as much time. But if you're strategic about it, and that comes from understanding, so learning about it, coming to workshops, attending webinars, and then creating your own plan and implementing it and staying accountable. And that's why I don't only just train people, I have consultancy services to help people, and I've got mentoring programs to keep people accountable and in action. And I'll share shortly how you can access me for a very highly subsidized rate through this business program I'm part of. Now, one thing I demonstrated in the room, I'll just quickly show it, is this, it's called Nearby feature. And if you're attending an event, a conference, a business after hours, or, want to show it to your team, someone needs to tell people to do this particular thing. But you turn on this feature called Nearby so that people will start popping up on their app and you can connect. Brilliant for conferences, particularly if you don't know people. So if at a conference the MC directs this, great for networking. So you go down to the very bottom of the LinkedIn app and you click on the My Network tab, the little icon with the two people. Then at the top, you turn on and find Nearby, and you've got to enable Bluetooth. That's how it's driven. And then people will magically start popping up and you can connect to them. You can look at their profiles or you can send them a message. So it's a nice way to connect to the people in the room right now. And we demonstrated that at the event quickly. Now, I mentioned the program. So it's called the ASBAS program, or Australian Small Business Advisory Service Digital Solutions Program. So I'm one of the advisors, and we offer services to small businesses with teams of under 20 staff that are not non-profits. And you can access me. I mean, I'm based in Perth, but I'm very happy to come up to Karratha again and run some workshops for you. I do profile building workshops, connection workshops, content workshops, company page workshops, search workshops. There's quite a lot of things I can do specifically, or introductory workshops. I also do an introductory sort of social media overview, and I go through all the major platforms and how they can fit in. So that's something else that I can run for you. I also deliver them via webinar through this program. So you'll find these things on my website on this page here, wildfiresocialmarketing.com/ASBAS. But one other thing you've got access to is, you can book me for a mentoring program. You can book me to review your profile. That's $297. Or I can rewrite your profile and transform it for you. I've got these sorts of features available. But if you just want some one-to-one help, you want to pick my brain, you can book me through the program, and the details are on this page of my website on how to do this. And you can get an hour for $40, which is a no-brainer and heavily subsidized. And ask me anything, and these are some of the contents that you can ask topics you can ask me about. So obviously LinkedIn and various components, Twitter, Pinterest, maybe it's content creation, promoting your content, social media management, scheduling, networking and outreach, webinar creation, course creation, or your strategy. So happy to talk to you about any of these things. And what I normally do is the first session is a bit of a discovery session, and that's an hour. And just as a side, while I said it's $40 an hour, the first session is actually $20, first session with the program. And then from there, we come up with a bit of a program for you, whether it's 4 sessions, whether it's 6 sessions, sometimes having double sessions back to back. So we've got the time to really delve into what you need. And I can hold your hand as you do things, as you update things and press buttons, and we can screen share, because we can do it via Zoom, Skype, even on the phone, so whatever works for you. So that's the program you've got access to me through if you're a small business. Now, if you're an organization, obviously you can engage me to come in-house and deliver some training, deliver a program, whether it's virtual or in person. Happy to do that as well. But one thing I wanted to mention, I don't think I mentioned it at the session, was my Get Good or Get Off program is launching next week. We've got a special end of financial year promo price. So it's called the Get Good or Get Off Get Sorted program. It's about social media strategy. It's about selecting the right platform for your business, setting your platforms up, and a massive module on content. And we go through step by step how to set up your Pinterest account, how to set up a YouTube channel, how to set up your LinkedIn, all those things. And then content, lots of ideas about how to create your content. But I'm running a webinar on Monday with my co-host and co-author, Elsa Page. And the webinar is about the 4 ways you stuff up social media, and then what to do about them. So it's a 30-minute webinar, completely free, 10 a.m. Monday the 24th. So feel free to join me on that. If you miss it, it's going to be recorded, so you'll get access to the recording. But feel free to connect to me, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Twitter, for those who do that, but my website as well. There's lots of resources. I've got lots of blogs, a lot of how-to content about how to do things on LinkedIn. I've got videos on YouTube as well. So feel free to connect to me, and if I can help you or your organization, get in touch. Like I said, that was my first trip to Karratha. Loved it. And I'd love to come back. So yeah, I hope to see you again soon. But thanks very much, and good luck with your social media marketing.